Hi, this is Saul Prashta, and in this video, we are talking about fear and how fear is controlling our lives. Right? So, I want you to understand, or I want you to see this video by using your intellect and not your logic. Be open minded, free minded. I'll talk about spirituality and all histories. So, as the sciences, we have three natural fears: the fear of height, and the fear of loud noises, and the fear of darkness. But as we grow up in a certain community, a certain society, in a culture, we realize that there are many fears more than darkness and the other two, which I said before. And in the modern society, everything is fear: the fear of darkness, fear of religion, even love is fear. There are fear everywhere. So, from the ancient times till the time where you're watching this video, the fear has been given many names, and it has been used, abused in the worst ways to manipulate human, to divide and fight among themselves. Before, fear was abused and used as religion, Godhead, to create fear among people so that they would be brainwashed. Now, since I talked about ancient things, I would like to talk about how fear, Godhead, and religions was used as fear to manipulate the masses and to create division. So, first of all, I would like to quote this from Krishnamurti, and he says that God did not create man. It is man who created God out of fear. And the problem is fear, not the God. And we have to be very open-minded to understand his saying. So, about Godhead, yes. So, in the ancient times, the mystics and the wise sages, they taught people different things. They taught that the God which we call is Self, Brahman. You see, I am not denying the universal consciousness, Brahman. So don't confuse Brahman with the God Brahma. Brahman is one universal consciousness, and which does not rely or fall on the category of duality. I'll talk that in a different video, hopefully. So the Godhead, so ancient sages, they used to teach people that God was on the inside and we have to seek within, and they taught us different ways of how to live and have a happy life. And I remember a quote, it said that for normal common people, religion is true, and for wise, religion is false, and for rulers, it is useful. Because now this is where the fear comes from, the fear of God. Now people had this, rulers, or you say people on the top, had this propaganda about if you don't follow, if you don't obey God, if you don't do this, then you will go to hell and you won't have this liberation after life. The concepts, which gave people fear, so that they would remain under, and they would even ask questions. This was manipulated from a long time ago. If you really observe it, then you'll start to see the things, how fear was manipulated. So God here now became the common fear amongst all people. So the Godhead which we worship now in different religions, I'm not talking bad about them. They were simply people, wise people, who taught us how to live. And that is through love. That is through being one human to another living being, have compassion, have love, have unity, most importantly, to have unity. And when human beings are divided among themselves, that's when the chaos happens in life. I'll come to it afterwards. So in ancient times they abused, godheads like that, religions like that. And the godhead in which we worship, I will not take names, but they all taught us was love, love and love only. And since now most of us are, most of, like, in the ancient times, almost everyone, they had a religion. There were one religion and it got divided and there was war, like my religion is greater than yours, fear, 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 right? My religion is greater than yours is mine, and there was war, chaos and everything. And slowly in modern times they're atheists, they don't believe in God. Now the elites, now you have the twist in there, game comes. Now the elites who are on the top of hierarchy, they create fear so that we would not revolt against them. Or the elites which I'm talking about, the system is, you've commonly heard the cliche word as matrix, right? So they create fear in amongst all. Like, since people are becoming atheist, they are dividing people amongst themselves by, it is easier to fool people than to make them realize or tell them that they have been fooled. You will not believe it. See, we simply would not. If I tell you that you can survive or you can be healthy by fasting, by not eating, or that you should not drink water containing fluoride because it calcifies your pineal gland, and you should meditate on full moon, this and that, you would not believe me. You would say it's a hoax until science proves it. All right, I'll just get to the topic and a very smooth. I'm talking about fear. So in more times, the elites have been very successful in dividing people through fear, giving us a false idea or propaganda telling us that we can be whoever we want, right? But not through love, but through by fighting division in sexuality, division in genders, division in religion, and division in so many things. Like, you are from this country, I'm from this country, I'm this sexuality, you are this. So you see, this is creating division, and that is coming through fear. Maybe it's because you cannot accept who you are, or maybe it's because you don't know who you are. It's okay to not to know who you are, but to tell others that you are this and I am this is the worst thing a human being can do. In the ancient times, men fought for their pride, their ego, and they would fight for themselves because they were so greedy. They wanted land, and what did they say? I'm fighting for my religion, I'm fighting for my God. As if God would care. In modern world too, you see, I will not name it, but you'll know it. Like, they're asking, donations. You can give free donations, and they have this huge box or huge poster of QR. You can scan it and give money. If God has everything, then why would He want your money from where you earn from 9 to 5? Why would He even want your money? If God created sea, then why would He want a drop of your water? Why? So these people are using you, because you have been so brainwashed, and you are so living in a fear that if you won't do this, if you don't believe God, then you'll go to hell. If you don't do this, then you'll go to... So it says, school says obey or fail. God says obey or hell. I'm talking about those propagandic, dogmatic godheads. And the government says obey or jail. This fear is creating division among us. So now, how do we eliminate fear? Because if I talk about fear, you just got the idea. It's been 9 minutes. I'm talking about fear. So to eliminate fear is so easy. To have unity, to have oneness, to accept everyone as a whole, to know yourself, not through the ideas of the world, not through the ego level, but by understanding who you actually are. you know, by understanding who you are. And how do you understand yourself? You do not know yourself by these materialistic things. You do not define that. It comes in the level of an ego. You truly understand yourself, like I've said in all my videos, in absolute silence and through love, love, and love only. When you raise your frequency, your vibrations, then only you know your true self. And it's not going to be easy for a common man, you know. So to eliminate fear, what you can do is, you have to understand what you fear. You know, you spend tens and thousands of money to get to a college just to get a job which pays you way, you know, like 70% less than what you paid for 4 years course, because you have feared that if you don't study this course, or if you don't study, you won't have a job. When you won't have a job, you won't have a life. When you won't have a life, you won't have a good wife. As a man, I'm saying, you won't have a good partner. And when you have a good partner, you won't. Fear. You're all trapped in this loop of fear, fear, fear. So act on your highest passion. You know, the highest passion is to have an authenticity, you know, to know truly who you are. And act on that passion to know who you truly are. And then when you act on your passion, then you truly know yourself. You eliminate fear, because fear is a made up thing. And when you cling onto that made up thing, you start to identify yourself with that fear. So this is when you have to balance your egos, because it's nearly impossible for almost everyone else to dissolve the ego. So you have to balance your egos. You have to know what you fear. You know, for example, you have to know what triggers you. Like in a normal thing, you don't have to like literally quit your job. And I'm not saying to do this. What I'm saying is, what you can do is, you can see what triggers you. For example, I'm in a relationship, and when my girl says something and I'm triggered, I am bound to react every time in that way. You know, to break a pattern, to break a loop, you have to respond differently. And if she says something and I'm always bound to talk, this time you don't reply it, you just observe it. Observe it as third person. There are two person fighting, you just bring yourself out of that thing and you just watch them fighting. It would not matter to you, right? So you have to eliminate your fear, you have to understand what you fear. And this is a slow, gradual process. I summoned up and whole, you know, knowledge and things into a 10 minutes video. So it's not going to be easy for people to understand, you know, but if you do understand, then congratulations. You can watch it, rewatch it to understand, because I've been talking about 4 or 5 topics which is related to fear. So to eliminate fear is to know yourself, to know your true self and what you fear, and make that fear your friend. Don't get too attached to it, and don't be too detached from it. This is the level of balance. So I hope you understood what I tried to say, how fear has been controlling you through TV masses. Like, I'll talk more. Right, so it's about okay, let's say I open social media and I see this guy with huge biceps, and I want it, because if I think that if I won't have that biceps or that car, then I will not get that pretty girl. Someone else will take her, and then I will be jobless, and then I would be useless. Nobody wants to be useless. See how fear is controlling our mind. When you stop using I only use social media to post videos. When I don't use social media, I read, study, you know, meditate and do all those stuffs, because it gives you a false illusion that, you know, propaganda, that if you won't have a Bugatti with you, then you are not a successful man. If you don't have 2 cars or an iPhone or something valuable, then you are not an authentic person. You are just like everyone else, common, mediocre. But it's alright to be mediocre. I would rather prefer to be nobody than a fake somebody. You know, as Tyler Durden says in Fight Club, we accept the thing. We buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like. So completely eradicate the concept of fear. It won't happen in a day. It will take years and years and years. The more you fear things, the more time it's gonna take. Be gentle with your fear. It's gonna take a lot of time, but I can't promise you that, but I'm sure when you'll overcome your fear, life is gonna be so much beautiful. You'll understand that you won't need that Bugatti or Ferrari or different cars to complete yourself. You don't need to have six-pack abs. You'll be happy on your belly. You don't need that hot girl, who gives attention to everybody. You can have a mediocre woman who likes mediocre things and have kids, and life is still gonna be happy. So don't chase after fears. What I like to believe is that we go and chase after fear. Fear doesn't come to us. So yeah, this video is very long, and I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Fear, fear, fear. Be gentle with your fear. Be kind to your fear, and eradicate your fear, and glow up. Be your true self. So this is for today. I hope you understood and learned something new. Thank you for watching. Hariom.